Final Fantasy, Bristol Chronicles. I wanted to get into the Final Fantasy series. I downloaded it on my phone, the original NES game on my phone one time, and it just wasn't good enough for me. All the enemies are invisible, and when you get in battle, you just get your butt handed to you, and most of your characters die before you actually get to the castle. I mean, first of all, if your characters are invisible, then why not just make it a time limit? And second of all, if there's undodgeable enemies, then if there's undodgeable enemies, then why not just take away one of your team members? It would. Let's try that one more time. I'm not sure why my camera just gives up on me, but like I said, if you're not able to dodge your enemies, then why not just take away one of your characters if they're undodgeable? I mean, I know you can get powers that can replenish your health and keep you from getting. My power just went out. Anyway, the Gamecube version was much better than the NES version. Anybody who's ever played Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga or Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, they definitely know that they can make superior RPGs. Wave Race Blue Storm, or whatever. I played this at a friend's house, and I loved how you ever play as a bubble in the loading screens. It finally makes loading screens fun. But the game itself was a pretty good game actually. Monsters Inc. Scream Arena. This game was good since I totally remember walking into Myers and seeing Super Smash Bros. Melee on GameCube. I remember it being on GameCube sitting there, selling at a very high price. Like GameCube games at the time sold for like $60, and I don't know why though, but since I never owned Melee at the time, and I never got into Smash Brothers until years later, I brought Brawl. This was my favorite fighting game at the time. You unlock characters and everything. It's just like Smash Brothers, only you can't jump in. It's got more of a 3D environment than a platforming environment. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. There's a story behind why I own this game, and that story is, I walked into a store one time, that seems like a cool game, brought it, but I got stuck in one part like everybody else would, and I went to I traded it in that GameStop one day for another game. I can't remember what game it was. I think it was Jimmy Neutron or whatever, but we'll get to that later. And I got a lot of money for it, and I just brought it back about a month ago. But I don't feel like but it didn't feel like a special occasion. It just feels like I got a regular game I could run any day. It feels like I just could run that years ago and gotten over myself. Cash Nitro Kart. This game, I also have it on Xbox, but I think the racing game on PS1 definitely had a bit more charm, but this one was also good. It had a better storyline, but gameplay was but the gameplay, can't really say how much it changed. Please excuse my cold. Crash Bandicoot throughout the Cortex. This was the last game in the series that actually followed this style of gameplay as all the others. I mean, if you compare the new Crash games, Mind Over Mutant and Crash of the Titans, to this one and the old ones on PlayStation, like Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped is just about as good as Super Mario Sunshine, no kidding. Compare the new ones to this one and the older ones on PlayStation, it would be like comparing Mario 1 to Mario 2. Huge difference. I mean, maybe in Japan, it's not a Crash game. It'd be a big coincidence. Kind of Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. Can't say much about this game. I loved the first one, loved it to death. It was awesome. I have it on PS2. But this one I can't say the same. You walk around, throw a couple of your boomerangs, kill a couple of enemies, but then you get in this giant robot, but then you go into this little first-person thing, and you shoot everything in sight, but as soon as you get in that first-person thing, you're never going to get past it. It's just like, is that the rest of the game? Is that the ending? I don't even think it's possible. Now, I only have 3 games with its unoriginal box, but who throws away the boxes? I mean, yeah, some kid will be looking for this game at a retro game store. My camera just gave up on me again. I mean, I don't know, it just stopped recording. It's weird. I have no clue what it's doing. Anyway, I just don't, I could make a whole nother video on a rant about who throws away the boxes for games, but, oh well, I guess I can kind of see they keep it in those binder things in order to get a larger collection, but, come on. I mean, it's inconvenient. Wouldn't you rather have in labels? Wario World, this was actually pretty good. I mean, it was actually really, really good. I really liked it. But much like all the other games Nintendo makes, it got a little bit hard towards the end, and you know, it's just easy to give up on games like this. Next game got its box. Mega Man Network Transmissions. This one was good. It really followed the style of the good old NES games. The graphics and cutscenes are nice, but it was actually a side scroller. But it was also annoying how it took a while to skip text and unskippable cutscenes. I could buy this at a cheap price, but I wouldn't say buy it at a very high price, because it's definitely it's definitely very challenging. I mean, I have no clue if it's even possible. Next game we got original box. Jiminy Neutron Jet Fusion. Definitely not as good as the other Jiminy Neutron video game. Not nearly as good, but it was still a fun game. Just not as fun. I really think the other Jiminy Neutron game was more like Luigi's Mansion. Alright, let's start with the games on the top.